Those that are here, Silas will speak on behalf of KTGA. Basically, what we are doing here is a follow-up to the meeting we had in Bomet about 3 or 4 months ago. Towards about 6 months in. We've stayed for a while without meeting. But you all know the history about how the conversation between Kenya Tea Growers Association or the multinationals, in a more word that you are more common with, and the leadership of Kericho and Bomet County began. We had challenges in the sector, and we decided that as a leadership, occasionally we shall be meeting to consult on issues from the past and even present emerging issues. So today was one such day where we had meetings. We have leaders from Bomet and leaders from Kericho. The governor of Kericho is here. 2 senators, Governor Barchok has sent his apologies, but he's here with us, and MPs also from various constituencies, and MCAs, as well as other leaders who, because of the short nature of the invitation, they were not able to make it. But nonetheless, we have many leaders that are here with us today. So I want to say that we have good deliberations. There are things that we want to report back as just a way of reporting progress. Number one, we have a long-standing issue where the county government of Bomet and the county government of Kericho have insisted that they need a survey of the land that is under lease to the multinationals for purposes of making their own records accurate. And we have agreed today on the modernity of how that process is to be done. So that's a big milestone that we have ticked from the previous conversation. You remember, it's one of the things we are not able to conclude in Bomet. So as we speak today, we can report. And of course, we shared with the multinationals also our proposals on how they can continue to improve on their recruitment process, so that it helps, especially when you recruit locals and the communities that border with the tea estates. And I think we have agreed on that, and Salas will make a mention. Yes, of course, we have also, lastly, is the issue of CSR activities. We want to, first of all, register. The leaders here registered their appreciations to Lipton's company, because, and KTGA generally, Silas is reminding me that it's KTGA as a group that are doing this. But of course, on that one, we are a bit more specific, because they have actualized one of the things we agreed. When we met in Bomet, we had told them to think of other CSR activities over and above what they normally do. Since that time, they have since signed up Kabianga University for the launch of the Lipton's Academy. And they have told us once they are ready with the local processes, they will invite the entire community. We go in and launch it together. But KTGA have been very gracious to us today. They have asked us as a leadership to go back and consult, and in 2 weeks to come back to them with a proposal on a slightly larger impact community project that will be beneficial of both the areas, that is Bomet and Kericho, once we have consulted as a leadership, and we share with them so that we agree on modalities of how that can be actualized, to which as the people of Kericho and Bomet, we are extremely grateful to them. We want to urge our people that we continue to build on this relationship. There are many other things that we need to do that are of concern to our people. We urge them to allow
what we discussed today, and I want to say this was a very positive milestone, that on matters resurveying of the acreage farm within the tea estate, we have agreed on modalities on how to go about it, and we are doing this not to punish anyone, but just to see if in case there's an excess, then we look on the matters revenue that comes to the county. And this is what we'll do harmoniously with both Bomet and Kericho, together with KTGA, and we have come to modality. This has been a sticking issue all along that we've been pushing with Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, and for a decade now it has not come to fruition, but today this was a major milestone. Number two, we have also agreed that whenever there are employment opportunities, and for the people to own the industry, we've agreed that they will look for modalities which they will be able to employ right from the local community, which which means the neighboring communities within the tea estate, so that community benefits and they also have ownership of the tea estate, even as we ask our people to continue respecting the business industry and as to do the same as leadership. Number three, which I think is also very important to observe, is that companies like Browns and the rest have opened up to people, to our people, to purchase shares from them. And as they do this, we have also called on them that they give priority to the local community so that they become also part of ownership. And Williams, I think, has just confirmed through KDGA that they are also open to members, and Sassini, they are also open to members purchasing of shares within those particular companies. And we call our people to take advantage so that they are also part of shareholders and they are part of decision makers within those given industries. Lastly, is that we have agreed on a common approach towards the CSR. We know that they've been doing a lot in terms of boreholes, building of classrooms, but today we have looked that there is a way we can come as leadership. We discussed that, which is this one impactful.
We have agreed on many things which before we were unable to agree. I think generally we are interested in, all of us, we are interested in a win-win position. Both for the multinational companies, we want them to see progressing, so that when they progress, when they succeed, we also get the resultant benefits through employment and other indirect benefits. So we have agreed in many areas. One of the things that actually has brought a lot of challenges and which took us to a lot of trouble a few months ago was the issue of employment. And of course, we know they are doing a lot of employment, but I think we have agreed that they need to change their way of recruitment so that not only are they employing, but also they are managing the people around there. So that if, for example, they have 2,000 positions to employ, they can do an extra mile to consider the immediate local people. Number two, we have also agreed that going forward, the issue of the corporate social responsibility should not be top-down. It should actually be bottom-up in terms of we consult from the leaders, wananchi, and then we consult the multinationals who will then implement the projects.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I think you have covered most of the things that we have discussed in this meeting, but on behalf of KTGA, is that I would like to let the community know and the leaders know that we are out to support the community. All we are asking from the community is that you give us that conducive atmosphere to be able to do our business. We've talked about the issue of petty thefts of green leaf in the estates. Please stop it. If you need employment, we have agreed on how we are going to try and give preference to the bordering communities as and when employment opportunities arrive. We don't employ on a daily basis. We employ based on the available opportunities. Another thing that we like to ask the community to do for us is that if there are issues that are disturbing you as a community, get hold of our member companies. In today's meeting, we've really opened up to the leadership, saying that we are open to suggestions, criticisms, but let it be constructive criticism. But we will want to work together so that we can be able to improve the livelihoods of the communities that we operate in. The last thing that maybe, Mheshimiwa, you didn't mention is that the tea industry is going through challenges, big challenges. Rising production as a result of favorable weather patterns. Then there is the issue of minimum pricing at the auction, increased volumes. As a result, most of the companies are actually selling below the cost of production. Yeah. And what is happening is that we are likely to see a situation whereby some companies might collapse. So at this time, it is very, very difficult for us to continue carrying out heavy investments in CSR activities. But as and when the situation improves, we have agreed that we will work together with the leadership so that we prioritize on issues that need to be tackled so that we can be able to tackle it as a team. I think with those...
Together with that, we've had a very fruitful meeting between the leaders of Kericho Bomet and the KTGA. And among the issues that we discussed, not only economic, but social issues. And of great concern is about the sexual harassment and exploitation of women. And today we agreed that that one will come to an end. I want to appreciate the milestones that have been taken. Of late, we have never heard of such issues, and I want to thank the multinationals for the step that they have taken. We also agreed that when it comes to recruitment, and we will have the 2/3 gender rule being applied here. And more importantly, we learned that some of these multinationals have gone to 50-50, not only in the recruitment, but even in promotion, women to have their positions. And we also agreed that when it comes to social issues, the working conditions will be improved. And I want to appreciate what they have done so far, and they are going to do more. I also want to add one more thing, that social amenities in the multinationals will be shared with the common wananchi, and of great importance is the health centers that they have actually been using, and they have said they will open more to them, and also the playing grounds that our youth have been using. They have not been denied, but what is of great importance is that they have to request by writing a notification, a letter to the manager of the concerned area, and they will be allowed to use the facility, and also the access roads. The roads have been opened, but people have to be careful. They have to show that they have, for security reasons, they have to show their IDs and maybe the driving license. Otherwise, it has been a very fruitful meeting.
Neboing tam gengolole kelelen imuch ko kikideclaren imbarenichu kele ekarishek eliput agenge ako imbarenichu ko ekarishek 2,000. That is an example. Raini kokoikoshine kele keyai kit nekibare resurvey nebo the entire land nimi multinational asikobit kenai the exact acreage ne covereni chaichu koboto ketik koboto ele kikinde korik ak tuguchon ko tugul. Nebo somok mi ngalekab CSR netam menai kengololen ak kakikoshine kele kenyoketobote nany leaders ak kekoshinechi major projects che impacteni in the society ako che generate more employment. So source of employment nebo biik kyok akotoret, and one of them chekaki mentionen which talking ngololen ko ngalekab sipitali neo maybe in area, for example takitekin konoin anano ko koshine kele niton kotoretech en oret nekararan. Mi biik chekako propose ngalekab water projects, talent center nebunyo ko campaign athletes chechok, nemi kiwanja nebo mpiret, nemi ngalekab kit kaptopenen talent chebo music ak tuguchon ko tugul ko part of proposals chekinyoketobote within 2 weeks ko kakekoshine leadership chebo Kericho ak Bomet en projects chebo talent chebo ngalekab CSR. So ka fruitful tuyet.
Of key and take home for us is the reform element, which I'm happy the governor has repeated. We have agreed and we are meeting on 12th next week. Remember, we've been running with these reforms in the tea sector. The earlier proposal, which Senator Aaron began in the amendment to the Act in 2020, there is an amendment that is currently running, and we have invited, following the conference that we had here in Kericho, we have now a last meeting next week on the 12th, where we have agreed with the KTGA team that they will come forward with the issues. The rest of the players in the sector are also going to be there, so that we all agree as one community of people within the tea sector to ensure that the reform agenda is actualized for the benefit of the investor, in this case the multinationals, and the farmer, as well as the residents of the 2 counties where tea is grown. And lastly, as I close in this aspect, the regularity of the meetings. Such meetings like we have had today is very important. So we have agreed that we will be meeting as often as possible, and we will open continuously channels of communication so that if there is any issue, we cannot escalate it before we deal with it at the local level.